Filipino American Woman. We're about to get started in about 60 seconds. I'm going to help Laura here with her iPad. And what she's going to do, or what I'm going to do for her, is I'm going to share her video on her news feed for people that, so her friends and family can see that we are on live now. And they can watch this either from her news feed or straight from the Filipino American Woman. So you can see here it says interviewing right now.
Oh, cool.
And you can see it's live. Actually,
awesome.
Let's see if it makes a sound. Make sure the sound is playing. Yep. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So it works. That's good to know.
Awesome.
And I'm going to go ahead and share this. And is there anything that you want to say about it in your news feed, or just say live now?
Yeah, live now.
Okay.
Tune in.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, sorry, you have to type for me.
No,
my hands
don't
are
worry.
busy.
No, we're about to do something really exciting. This is the first time we're going to have a cooking show, a mini cooking show. I mean, not really cooking, it's more like making a drink.
Yeah, we're making a drink.
And it'll be a ton of fun. I'm going to share this public so that everyone can see it. And type in live now. And I'm going to do the same thing on mine as well to let my friends and family know that we are on here. My mom actually watches these Facebook Live. So hi, Mom, when you tune in.
Hi, Auntie. And maybe my parents will make an appearance if they come out of their room.
I know.
I told them, hey, we're doing an interview. You have to be quiet.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
No, it was funny because when I interviewed Elizabeth, her whole family was upstairs, and we were just making a joke about it. Because we're like, you guys can come down and be a part of it as well.
Well, that's where Eric and EJ are. They're upstairs, too.
Oh, okay. They're probably watching on their phones right now.
Yeah. They're probably doing something else on their electronics.
Yeah, so we have Melanie Sinico on.
Oh, yay, that's my sister.
Oh, hey,
Thank
girl.
you for watching.
Thanks for jumping on. I'm going to go ahead and share this, and we will get
I think
started.
Mom and Dad are going to go to your house pretty soon. She lives really close to me.
I'm going to say, live now, learn how to make melon juice.
Melon.
I don't know how to put the accent in a
Melon.
caption. Melon juice.
There you go.
Juice.
So today we're going to go to a party later, and Filipinos like to bring food. So today I'm going to make melon juice for my godson Chris. He's having his birthday party later. So if this turns out well, that's what we'll be drinking. And then of course we're going to drink some today to taste test it.
Yes, yeah. And I'm going to be the assistant today.
There you go.
Apparently, I have some tasks to do. Yelena says good morning from LA.
Oh, good morning.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Awesome. And then I just want to make sure this is working because I don't see the comments on there. I see it on here, but I don't see it on there. So let me double check that this is working. Okay, it is working.
Oh, yay.
It's good. Okay, that's great. I just want to make sure we have it going on correctly. And
so while she's checking that, let me just tell you how I came to choose this.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely food's a big part of everybody's culture. And I think just probably from the Spanish influence, the aguas frescas, the juices made from different fruits and vegetables. So I've made this with cantaloupe. It's my first time doing it with honeydew, but you can use whatever melon you want. And it's basically a simple syrup made with sugar water to your taste. As you can see, I'm using a cheese grater to grate my melon, and then we're just going to combine everything, put a drop of vanilla extract, put some ice in it, and we should be good to go.
Yes, so if you are in the room right now, please just comment below, let us know that you can hear us and that we're, you can, that we're live, just give us a thumbs up or give us a like or comment below saying we can hear you and we're ready to get started. I do see some people commenting. We have Allie. Allie says hi. Hey, Allie.
Hi.
So thank you so much for jumping on. Okay, I see the likes in the room, so thank you. I'm glad to see this is working. We never know with like Wi-Fi.
Right.
And so with that said, I'll go ahead and just get started. And you guys, the reason why you see me on my laptop is because I kind of have to wear like a number of hats on here. I am the interview. I do help with the interview, and I help make sure that the technology is running correctly, and maybe if your family is upstairs and watching this, if they can let us know that it's working as well, that'll be great. And
did you hear that, Eric?
So
there they are.
I
hear Grandma and Grandpa coming down the hall. Do you want to say hi? This is my mom and dad who live with me.
Yay.
And that's probably something I want to talk about later in our different roles as women.
Hi.
So say hi. There's the camera. You have to say hi.
Hi.
And where are you off to now? Your favorite place?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the arcade first.
Alright.
I'm gonna get a haircut and then after that we're gonna go play mahjong.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
have
nice to
fun.
Hi.
This is Jen.
What's
See
your name?
you. It's Jen. I'm Jen. Nice to meet you. Yeah. All right. Well,
You have a Filipino blood?
yeah, Ilocano, my dad. And,
What part of
Wait, let me get out.
Zambales. My dad's from Zambales, and my mom's from. Where's she from? I should know this. I'm sorry, Mom. She's from Bulacan.
There you
And
go.
they met in Olongapo, and then he joined the Navy.
That's why I graduated to in high school, no longer in St. Joseph's School.
Awesome. Well, thank you for
All right.
slightly
have
being on our
fun.
show for a little bit.
Okay. Bye. Have
Okay,
fun.
great. Okay, cool. So we see, awesome. So I see, hey Aixa, thanks for joining. She's a friend of mine from church.
Okay.
Good morning, Joe. We see you on there. Thank you so much. I'm kind of curious to know, we're supposed to see comments on there. I see it here. So if
Okay.
anyone can just comment and just let me know that you can hear us, that would be great. I just want to make sure our technology is working. Otherwise, I might start it over.
So can I see myself there?
Yes, you're right, you're right there.
We'll play it back later, okay?
Watch it
So
later.
she's gonna interview me, and then
Yes.
maybe she can interview you later. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Bye, Dad. Bye.
There's nothing here.
It was a pleasure meeting you as well. Yeah.
I'm getting bold of people.
Yeah, that's what I was taught to do and show
There
respect
you
to
go.
people.
Respect.
Yeah.
Lord.
Okay.
It implies that you are highly respected, right? That's what I'm learning with the Filipino culture. So.
Where did you meet?
We'll talk about it later. That we're live right now. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Why don't you ask me the first question,
Yeah,
Jen?
it's totally. This is our little like pre-show in a weird way. So awesome. Thanks, Melanie. I'm glad. Thank you for the feedback and letting us know. It was a pleasure meeting you. Have a great walk and enjoy mahjong. And
Yeah, that's what they do. That's their retired life.
it's so funny. Melanie says, "Bye, Mom and Dad."
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, great. So I'm glad they can hear us. All right, everyone. Well, I want to welcome you all officially onto the Filipino American Woman Facebook page, Facebook Live show. And part of, just so you know what this is about, it's a movement to celebrate the Filipino American woman. And the way that we're doing that first is by doing a Facebook Live campaign where we feature 100 stories of the Filipino American woman. So give me 1 second. I see someone say a message there.
Okay.
There's like a message that popped up. So I'm your host, Jen Amos, and this is not about me today, but I'm really just going to be your facilitator. You're going to see me go back and forth from my laptop to looking at the screen, so I can acknowledge you if you're commenting. And the beauty of Facebook Live is that it's live. You can see Laura here is actually cutting up some melon as we prepare. And you're just as part of this interview as we are. Right. So please comment in the room. Laura has actually been watching all of the videos and commenting in. And so now it's just such a pleasure to interview her and just share her amazing story. And we already kind of talked about some topics we want to address today about being a Filipino American woman. And I'm really excited to uncover that with you. We are live streaming. So another reason why we encourage you to comment is to make sure that our technology is working correctly. And like we said, you're just as part of this interview as we are. So it just so happens we're having a discussion in person, but you can comment in and say whatever you like. And we already had some people commenting in the room, so thank you so much for
Well,
your
I
engagement
just
so
want to
far.
touch upon that you knew how to monopo, because that's something I feel that gets lost in translation from American-born children.
Yes,
and being, raised here in America. So my kids don't really do that.
Oh, really?
But they know what it is. I don't know if they just don't feel comfortable doing that. I think it's probably just something you start when they're little. But not all generations, and especially, those kind of mannerisms, traditions, and then going back to the food, I think that's also, I don't really cook. I mean, I like to cook, but I don't really cook. Eric likes to cook more than me, but passing down those recipes from generation to generation, I think is really important, so that your kids know, what foods. Although Filipino food can be not really the healthiest, but
Right,
still
right.
good, still delicious. And like I said, a big, big part of our celebrations.
Right, exactly. And I mean, I appreciate you pointing that out. Even, you know, with my grandparents, it was a very important thing. And we lost them. I mean, they lived good lives. My grandpa is actually still around. He's in his mid-80s.
Oh, wow.
My grandma passed away from diabetes. And from my dad's side, my grandma is still living, but she's in the Philippines. And I just remember when I was a young kid, that was the thing that we had to do. And of course, I'm very Americanized, so it was very awkward for me as well to just kind of do that. And one of my girlfriends, Giselle, she's been part of our interviews. She's really good at that. She's really good at showing respect. So I always kind of bring her in and use her as my buffer in a sense to like acknowledge my mom and grandparents. And
not only that, but also even just the language, you know.
Yeah.
Like I understand, but I probably need to practice so that I can get more fluent. I mean, I could speak probably really broken Tagalog. But I think that's also something that's really different with the generations being raised here in America, is they don't necessarily understand the language. But in our area, in the district I work for, it's really important that we offer Filipino language to our kids, because we do have a significant number of Filipino students in the Sweetwater district. So.
yes, definitely.
Can I ask you to stir the water?
Yes, I will. So,
okay.
So as we do this interview, let me go ahead and
she's gonna multitask.
I'm gonna multitask.
Yeah.
That's what Filipino American women
That's
do.
right.
Just by the way.
Right.
So let
We're
me go ahead.
multitaskers, and we have multiple personas. So that's something else I really want to talk about.
Yes, I love that. Actually, I'm going to definitely elaborate on that.
Okay.
There's a term I like to use called multidimensional, and I think whether we're human or Filipino American women, but humans in general, we have so many different dimensions to us. You know, you're a mother, you're an educator, you're a sibling, you know, and there's just so many different sides of us. But anyway, I got ahead of myself. Let me go ahead and introduce Laura Bumatay.
There you go.
She is a wife, mom of 3, a sister, and a daughter. And she's been an educator for over 20 years. That is a long time. And loves to plan family events. I do want to add one thing. I was actually updating her title, and I told her that, oh, let's put that you're a food enthusiast. And then she said, well, I actually want to put, I don't want to put food over family.
Right.
And I knew then and there that she has her priorities straight.
Right.
And I love how you mentioned that, and you know, just seeing that this is a birthday month for a lot of people in your family.
March is birthday months for all of us.
I know your husband's birthday was yesterday, and yours is coming up this Monday.
Mine's coming up Monday. My son's is on Wednesday. Allison's birthday was on the 18th. So Sherilyn has a December birthday, but she shares that with my sister May.
Right.
So December and March are our birthday months.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
And it's kind of cool that usually we're on spring break. So I was telling you earlier, when we're on vacation, I kind of like tune out from work because, you know, you all need a break.
Yes.
And so that was something that when you had started this movement, I thought about just being a woman in general, but especially a Filipino American woman. There's I think, a possibility of having this struggle within about the perception of what being a Filipina means, but being a Filipino American woman.
Right.
And I remember you had asked before to think about a time where you felt something about being a Filipino American woman. I remember being in my master's program, I believe, and there was an exchange student. I forgot where he was from. But he was here getting his degree, and he...
You tell me when to stop mixing, by the way.
Just till it dissolves.
Okay.
And this one, too.
Oh, okay. I have another
and it's
assignment.
To taste.
With this spoon?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's your taster spoon.
Okay,
to
that's
see
my
if it's
taster
sweet
spoon.
enough.
Okay, great.
But I've already started, you know, I think this is pretty full.
Yeah,
and
we'll explain what we're doing once you finish
you
your
can
statement.
pour it in there.
Yeah, okay, great.
But I remember, you know, this guy just saying how he loved San Diego, and he was able to bring over his Filipina nanny, and she did everything. She cooked, she cleaned, and I don't know, it just struck me, it really bothered me, because I said, wow, is that what you think of Filipino women?
Yeah, very true.
And I didn't say anything, you know, I could have taken that moment to say something, but it took me a while to digest that. And it wasn't until a while that I got over, I think, the effect of feeling that we were only good for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Either maids or mail order brides.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, you know, now that I'm older, And I'm telling you, the 40s have been my most emotional decade of my life, I'll put it that way.
Interesting.
Because there's been a lot of transitions.
It's fine, it's still running.
Okay.
So you
But
said it's like the most emotional.
but after, you know, thinking about it, and the older I get, the more I think about what's really important to me. Of course, if you ask anybody, you know, what's the most important thing to you? They're going to tell you it's their family, right?
I'm gonna pour this in, by the way. Okay.
So if people are going to entrust their most precious commodity to Filipinas, well, then that's the greatest compliment that we can have, I think. You know, if we're going to be known for being selfless, caring, nurturing, trustworthy enough to take care of your most precious commodity, then that's the biggest compliment that anybody can give anybody. So I take pride in that.
Right.
But being Filipino American, I think we've also learned the value of being not only contributors, you know, and sacrificers for your family, but also learning to be independent, because that's what I think the American spirit's about, is independent and, you know, having goals and achieving that. So I think for Filipino American women, it's also about knowing and having the skills to also take care of yourself, so that you can be the best for others.
I really feel you. Even in fact, just to add on what you said, you know, this month has been really challenging. We had a death in the family, and it was very. Oh, it's okay. Thank you. It's not my side, fortunately. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, it's not my side, but still, it's you know, being kind of like you know, collateral damage in a sense. But it's only really this week where I really felt like I had to put myself first again. You know, it's very, like you said, it's very easy for us to be hospitable and to put others first and to be nurturing. But even this week, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I did my part. I'm ready to put myself first again. And, you know, just finding that balance between, you know, being there, you know, just naturally wanting to serve others, but also remembering that you have to serve yourself, right?
Right.
And,
well, the other thing about being Filipino, or even just, maybe even just Asian in general, is you always want to do your best.
Yes, yeah.
So sometimes it's really hard. You know, you introduce me as being a wife, a mom, a sister, a daughter,
right?
And then the responsibilities that come along with my job. You know, there's always that. I gotta please everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint everybody. I just gotta do my best, and that can get really tiring.
Yeah,
definitely. You know, and it can wear on somebody. So.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and tell everyone what we're doing.
All right,
so let them know what this
is
and what I mixed up for you.
Yeah. And then we're going to pour some water, simple syrup, so it's sugar water.
Okay.
So I don't know. Some people don't really like it too sweet. And then I'm going to leave some room because we're going to actually also put some ice.
Okay.
But I gave you a taster spoon if you want to taste.
Okay, perfect.
So did you think we mixed this up enough?
I don't know. Did we? I mean, I mixed these two, but I don't know.
We're not going to die. Okay. So let's taste it.
Okay.
Hey, that's pretty sweet.
Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That brings me back to my childhood.
Isn't that nice? Okay. So secret is, let's make it even sweeter. Let's put some vanilla.
So why don't we tell them real quickly? So this is called melon juice. I said it correctly.
You
right?
did.
And what are some ingredients that you added? It's super simple, by the way. Anyone can make it at home. I mean, we just did it within minutes. So
it's whatever melon you want to make your melon drink. Today I have honeydew, and then it was just basically water and sugar. And then I just added vanilla extract, and then we're just gonna load it up with ice.
There you go.
And then it should be ready for my godson's birthday party.
So delicious! I can't wait.
And we just did that, and I mean we're talking too. So if you had time for yourself to do that, it'd probably take you less than 5 minutes. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure without conversation, we would have done it really quickly. So
we're multitasking.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. So you can ask me another question, Jen.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, let me go ahead. No, you're fine.
Okay.
So I just kind of want to recognize some people in the room. Hey, Keen. Keen's my friend from college. Thanks for joining us. I want to give a shout out to Sina Sanchez. She says, you better take care of yourself. The better you can care for others. Joyce Lee says you're an inspiration girl.
Oh, Joyce. Hi, Joyce.
She says, yay, Laura. And Jeremy.
We're going to talk strong woman later. So I know Joyce from Elizabeth.
Oh, nice.
And
you
also,
all run in the same circles is what I'm getting. So
we watch K-dramas. That's part of my, my self-care. Is watching K-dramas.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that in your intro. That's right. Yeah. So Elizabeth says, Laura cooking show. I think this needs to be a new angle on your vlog.
Hey! Okay.
So hey Elizabeth, thanks for joining us, and just a number of people already in the room just commenting. Shout out to Jasmine, Jeremy, you can see all the names that's right there. Darlene, Maggie,
hi,
just
Darlene,
a ton of people. Yeah, we have like
Thanks for
14
coming
people
on.
currently in the room
Yay,
right now.
thank you.
But anyway, we just made melon juice.
We just made melon juice.
And it was really simple.
I'm going to shake it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shake it
And
up.
it's funny because we weren't sure if we were actually going to do something, and then now we are. So
Yeah, I
that
just
works
needed
out.
something simple because, Elizabeth, thank you. But I think if I had to use knives and the stove, we might be in trouble. So.
I know. I don't cook either.
Okay.
I'm more of like, I'm more of like the, what do you call those meals? The meal prep meals? Or like
Oh,
the,
really?
The ones that you order and they're already made for you.
Oh,
Just warm
really?
up. I'm kind of that girl.
Okay.
But my boyfriend is a big cook, so
Oh,
he
yeah.
loves that. And he doesn't like to eat leftovers, so then I get to eat his leftovers sometimes.
Oh, yes. That's the best leftovers.
Yeah, so Easter Finley says...
Easter! Now, that girl can cook. So I had to pick up eyesight.
Yeah, this is Facebook Live, y'all. It's real stuff.
Yeah.
We actually drop ice in
Yeah,
real
I
life.
did. So
It's
I'm
a-
going to get a ladle.
So Easter says, Laura, you inspire me. I think you need to present at the Makaisa conference.
Who's saying that? Easter?
Easter, yeah. Maybe we need to
girl.
do a cooking show. It's
Hey!
funny because we're not really cooking.
I can do this.
We can make melon juice.
I can do this for you, Easter, anytime, girl.
Yeah.
You need to set me a date. I thought we were going to go on a date soon.
Yeah, so, hey Ray, thanks for jumping on. Ray Hiboro, he's one of my friends. He's one of my friends too. I don't know if you know him,
No.
Ray Hiboro. He's awesome.
Sounds familiar.
He ran the San Diego Entrepreneur Day a couple years ago for 2 years in a row. Really awesome. He says, I agree, perfect angle to your blog. Get recipes from Filipino moms in San Diego.
Hey, okay.
Hey.
Send me, okay, so you can reach me at Laura Says So
Yes.
at gmail.com. So that's another persona I have is
Yes.
thanks to Elizabeth. She introduced me to blogging about 2 years now. So Laura Says So, L-O-R-A.
Oh, and check this out.
S-A-Y-S-S-O.
So she says, maybe Eric can do the cooking part of your blog.
I'll be the assistant and I can be the taste tester.
Yes, and then Elaine says, Laura, you and Easter need to show off your culinary skills
There
at
you
the
go.
conference.
Okay.
So there's this conference that
There
I'm
is.
learning about. If you want to kind of tell them about it a little
Thank
bit.
you for giving us an audience for that. So,
Yeah.
you know, when I became an educator 20 plus years ago, part of the reason was I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, but my experience in high school was and something that struck me was we didn't have enough Filipino staff members, for sure. So when I became a teacher, I mean, that was part of my, and still is, part of my passion to help serve our student population. So we have an annual, well, some years we haven't had it, but it's meant for Filipino American students and parents. Everybody is welcome, though. And this
Love
year's
it.
going to be at Southwest High School, April 15th. And it's an all-day thing. You get lunch, and kids and parents are going to learn about the educational system, and they're going to learn about careers. And then we have performances, and it's a really, really fun day. You get to connect, you know, with a lot of people in the community, and really hope that you can be there. We're still looking for speakers. So if you like to speak to kids and parents, please look us up. We do have a website. If you just type in Makaisa, and it should come up. Or, you know, you can even shoot Jen an email. She'll get to me,
just
and we'll get
hit
you
us
the
up.
information. So, Jen, you need to be on our business panel.
Oh, that would be such an honor.
I was supposed to ask you a long time ago.
When
Now
is the
it
date?
just clicked. April 15th.
April 15th.
April 15th. If you're available. It's a Saturday,
Okay,
I know.
I will let you know.
Okay,
That
okay.
sounds like a weekend I have to be somewhere. But I will let you
okay,
know. I'll
okay.
let you know. Because I think I have to drop off my mom somewhere in LA. But just
Okay.
let me know. I will get back to you on that.
All right. Are you going to be ready to travel? We're going to travel to our second location.
Yes, okay,
Okay.
so we are done making the melon juice.
There you go.
And as Laura mentioned, it can be any type of melon, so it can be cantaloupe. We used honeydew. Actually, honeydew is my favorite, by the way.
Oh,
I didn't tell you that, but it's my favorite. And she's going to take this to her party this afternoon.
Yeah.
And now we're actually going to switch. We're going to move over to the living room. So just kind of indulge us as we rearrange. So this is like real live Facebook Live. You're going to see us transfer to another room.
Do you like to eat the actual melon?
I do.
Okay,
actually.
so
I'm like
I'm
one of
gonna
those
give you
pulp
some.
people.
Okay.
Yeah, I love pulp.
Okay.
And so,
That's funny. I like orange juice and stuff. No, thank you.
oh yeah, you know,
But
like,
if
you
it
don't
comes
like
to
pulp.
like this kind of drink, oh,
Yeah, well, because you just made it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
like,
fresh.
it's the best. So
it's fresh. So, you know, you need some kind of container So
By the way.
we're good. We're good at recycling, right? And repurposing, reusing.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. You are so right. Because I love, like, okay, so, you know, one of my friends uses the word resourceful.
Okay.
So we just learn how to, you know,
Resourceful.
use everything.
That's
And
a perfect word to describe
Yeah.
Filipino Americans.
so, like, for example, instead of buying storage boxes, we use shoe boxes or, like, shipping boxes from whatever we got on eBay or Amazon.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
just
yeah.
stuff like that. We love, I mean, not all of us, but I would say a good number of us in our community love
Right.
being resourceful, right? So, okay, we're going to
Well,
go ahead and transfer over. So I'm
okay.
going to just move the camera. So you guys get to indulge me as I walk around Laura's beautiful home. So I'm gonna just carry us over here to the living room. So yay! And which side do you want to sit on, the left or the
I'll
right?
sit on the side that has my stuff on.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. And why don't you tell them where we are currently? Where did we transfer to?
Oh, this is just our living room.
Okay.
I didn't want to be in the kitchen all day,
Yeah. I know.
right? Slaving away.
All right, so we
So-
will just, actually, I think I can put this, if you don't mind me moving
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
Put it right there.
Yay!
And there we go. Okay, great.
Yay!
So we just moved. Real life stuff, y'all.
So can I share? I like show and tell.
Of course, yeah.
So,
you can.
you know, when we scheduled this interview, got me thinking about, you know, what are some things that I want to tell the audience? So I touched a little bit on it, being an educator. And my mom, you know, they live with us now, and they've been clearing out their suitcases and storage just slowly. So she found this article, and I mentioned it to you a long time ago. This is something I wrote my first year of teaching to the San Diego Tribune. It was just a
Yes.
letter to the editor. And so I was like, oh my gosh, you know, so I read it and I said, some of these things are still relevant.
Okay, so
you
the
know?
title of it is Foreign-Born Parents of Teens Here to Find Life Quite Different. And so are there some things you want to pull out of that kind of still resonates
So
today?
I talked about the lack of Filipino role models in schools, but
Right.
actually now we have probably the most number of Filipino employees in our district.
Awesome.
You know, we still need more. And I really wish, it's a call for action to those of us who are in positions that we really need to get involved. We really need to get involved. It's for our kids. So whatever way you can contribute. The other thing that I've been involved in for a long time with Elizabeth too is the Karangalan Scholarship.
Yes. Yeah, you
So,
told me
you know,
about
for
that.
me, that's really investing in our youth, for our high school seniors and sending them off to college. And I like to do whatever I can. So at Granger, just this year, you know, we've paired up with UCSD a couple times for our kids to go see college and go spend a day shadowing current college students, and something that my own daughter has done too at Berkeley. So I'm really proud of her. And also Sherilyn participated in a lot of organizations, and I think being at college, if you have a chance, kids, take those classes. Take Filipino, take the Filipino history classes, because if you don't, then funding might not be there for us to continue those. So please take advantage that we got those classes because we identified that there were a need. There was a need. So please take advantage and take those classes. What else?
Yeah, anything else in there that you feel like resonates? Anything you want to share? I know you have a stack of things here you want to share.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I started out at Granger, and that's where I'm back at now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And actually, there's a handful of teachers who've only been at Granger, so it's quite a special school, and I love being there. I mean, you know, I like myself to change. You know, I need to change, but for those people who've invested their lives into serving that community and serving that school, it was like, you know, coming full circle for me to go back after 20 years to coming back to that school.
Wow. Okay, so since we've been talking a lot about education, and I mean, you're very humble. I know I know in our title you wanted to be known as an educator, but why don't you tell people what a typical work day looks like for you?
Wow.
And then maybe a family day, because I know family is just as important.
Yes.
And so why don't you kind of share a little bit about that?
You might get bored, to be honest.
Well, she's very humble, but she's an assistant principal.
You know, my job just entails serving the community, whether it's staff, students, parents. I don't know what my day is going to look like because people just come in, and something might take 5 minutes, something might take my whole day. especially if it's an investigation I need to start because of things going on in school. But really my greatest pleasure is going to the classrooms and connecting with kids. So I love going and seeing what the teachers are doing, what the kids are working on, being out there at nutrition break and lunch, even though it's a supervision duty for me, it's a time for me to talk to the kids.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I wear a lot of hats. If the nurse is not there, I'm the nurse.
Oh.
You know, if the counselor's not there, I'm the counselor.
Yeah.
You know, God forbid the fire alarm goes off and something dangerous is happening, which we've had, you know, situations, and you just have to keep your cool and make sure you're making good decisions. But basically, you know, when you work in this kind of job, you're basically a public servant. So you know, whatever you can do to serve the needs of your community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Public servant. That's a great way to word it. And then why don't I know we were kind of talking about. I mean, this whole month is a birthday month.
Yes. Yeah.
So why don't you share a little bit about
good transition?
Yeah.
So you know, I wanted to take this opportunity to tell people.
I'm gonna drink.
Yes, I was gonna say taste our delicious. Hopefully, it's delicious melon drink. You know, I didn't have the opportunity to grow up and know my grandparents. And luckily, you know, my kids have had the chance to be with their grandparents. We lost Eric's mom a couple years ago, but but you know, I think that if you have your aunts or uncles or grandparents around you, spend time with them, ask them a lot of questions, because you know, I've always had this saying that resonated with me, and if you're to know yourself, is to know your history. So whether it's for, you know, medical purposes, you know, to know your history, but you know, I just brought these things out because as you can see, my dad's funny. I think I think my personality is similar to my dad in a lot of ways. But he had a stroke in 2009. So, you know, the adjustment of now my mom being his main caretaker, and then now them living with me. Right. They lived with my sister for a number of years. That's been a whole different shift in our relationship between parents and child.
Yeah. It's like the tables have turned in
for
a sense.
Sure. And also, you know, with my husband and my son, you know, it's all a big adjustment for all of us. But he really wanted to celebrate his first birthday after he had his bypass. And, you know, since, actually, I didn't mention that. He had a heart attack in 2009. Gosh. So we had a birthday party for him. And one thing I like to do, a creative outlet for me, is I like to make photo books. And I haven't done one in a long time. But for each of the grandparents, I've made a photo book for them. But in it, it's not only pictures of the party, but I like to share their story.
Oh my gosh.
So I will write, you know, what happened.
You put it closer to the camera. You guys just have to see, like, she wrote a whole story about her dad.
Yeah, what led up to having this party.
That is amazing.
Because I really think it's important to find out and record as much as possible. You know, this is my sister's father-in-law. We lost him.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they were really great friends, and we've been really blessed. I just want to also acknowledge God that He's really blessed me with good people in my life, you know, friends included. So, you know, we had a party for my mom. It became a family reunion. So again, I had a whole part in the party where my sister and I, my cousins, had a script that told about her life. And so I included that here.
This is so inspiring.
Yeah, I don't know where it is,
all these ideas for me.
Yeah. Anyway, you're welcome anytime. There it is. This is the script that we use. And we talked about my mom growing up, and I interviewed my aunts, my uncles, to get the information, how her and my dad met. And so, excuse me, I just want to say that to me is really, really important. And now with technology, I mean, you can make videos just like that.
Yeah, it's just like what we're doing right now.
Just like what we're doing.
Easy stuff.
If everything burned down, this is what I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing my picture books and of course your important documents. But these things can't be replaced, right?
I mean, like the personal stuff are important documents as well.
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
And you know, that's really inspiring because, you know, I was looking when I visit my mom's. She has a photo album section that she hides. But it was when we were kids, and you know, she had every picture. She even had our footprint when we were first born, all that stuff. And I think somewhere along the way we stopped doing that because, you know, life got busy and this and that. And you know, part of the Filipino American Women Project is to document our stories.
Yes.
You know, and so just seeing that you're already doing this for your family, it's, you know, it makes sense why we're here today, because we're in alignment with that belief of recording our stories and sharing our stories.
Have questions?
Yeah, we have a couple.
Okay.
I know it's funny because like we didn't really get into the questions yet, but we have Marisol.
Oh, Marisol.
Say, Laura, you are the best. Easter Finley says, love the quote, to know yourself is to know your history. That is a keeper. Elizabeth says, school administrators have a tough job. Good work, but hard work. And then Keen, this is a random, this is a fact that he brought up earlier in regards to how we're resourceful, but he says the average human disposes 4 pounds of waste per day, and we need to work on minimizing our waste for the future. So sustainability for the win. So I think it's great. I think Filipino Americans in general, we set the example of, you know, just being resourceful and not, you know, minimizing the amount of waste that we have.
So can I share a memory?
Of course.
Because one of your questions to think about was, have we ever been to the Philippines? So I think I was 12 when we went to the Philippines the last time. And I really want to go again, hopefully soon. But I just remember, first of all, stepping off of the airplane and just being hit with the humidity. Like it was just stepping into like an oven. And then the taxi ride to where my mom's family lived, I just remember getting stuck in traffic, the smell of all the fumes. All my senses were on overload, you know. But I remember looking out at the taxi at a mountains, I should say, of trash. And people, little kids, were scavenging through it. And I didn't know what were they looking for, you know, anything. Were they looking for food, for something that was salvageable that they could use in their lives? But that has left a big, big impression on me. And then when we got down, we finally arrived. I mean, it was like we were celebrities. Our taxi was surrounded by everybody on the street, and they just wanted to look at us and touch us. And it was a lot. It was overwhelming. Yeah. So, and then they wanted, you know, they just wanted to remember you with something. They wanted my purse, they wanted my watch, I'm 12, you know, and I'm like still at the age where this is mine.
Yeah, you're like, no, sorry, but not sorry.
I had this green and lime and yellow tracksuit that I loved. Like, well, I don't know, I think it was 7 or 8. I wore like every other day or something. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw it. This green color caught my eye, and one of my cousins was wearing it, and I thought, what, you know? Yeah. Then I realized, wow, the things that I take for granted, and here's my relative taking my clothes that I pretty much, you know, would throw away, or I don't know what happened to it, you know, I grew it, so my parents would pack their buying box and send things home, and I was just like, wow. That experience completely changed when I came back to America and how I looked at my life. So I do want to take my family, my kids, and just to, you know, I know a lot of things have changed, but I do think that that's a life-changing moment when you go back to where your grandparents were from.
Yeah, it's, in a way, when you go back, you're kind of seeing your counterpart. You're seeing like what life would have been if your parents didn't bring us here. You know, and I agree with you. Like the couple of times I went to visit family, I'd see my relatives and they're wearing a shirt that I got rid of forever ago, and I was like, that's my shirt. Those are my sweats. Those are my shorts. You know. You know
what? I should have asked my uncle. So speaking of that, so my mom's family, I think were, what's the word? Like special in a way, because my grandfather actually served in the Navy, so they were already born U.S. citizens. They didn't have to get sponsored to come over here. My uncle tells me that my grandfather served President Johnson, I want to say.
Wow.
But he has his Navy record, and I feel like I saw it and I was touching it, and I thought to myself, oh my God, I should be probably wearing gloves, because he was born in 1902. So it's
my gosh.
handwritten what ships he served on, what his medical records are. It's all handwritten, what tattoos he had on his body. So it's
Wow.
really, really interesting. Some of the pages are, of course, are worn because it's how old now.
Yeah,
But
wow.
just to see
It's
that,
over like 100 years old.
yeah, just to see
It really
that.
is.
Yeah, I should have brought it. But maybe next time.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I learned to do with the women
Yeah.
is to interview them a year later.
Oh,
you know, so
okay,
keep that in
okay,
mind.
okay.
You know, be like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to save the stash for next year
Yeah,
and
right.
share that then and there.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and do that. And I appreciate you sharing that. And, you know, although we do have set questions here, it's not necessarily in an order. But I do want to ask you, how did you even hear about our project? You know, how did you hear about it? What made you want to get involved?
So I believe it was from our group page from the San Diego Filipino Blogger Network.
Yes, yeah.
So I know you posted it on there, and I did at that time look at it. But really, it was Elizabeth who said, "Laura, you know, check this out," and I said, "Oh, okay." So from that's when I found out, and it was really interesting. I mean, like I said, I think you should get your, you know, gathering all this data.
Yes,
I think
trust
you
me.
should,
It's all,
get your
and I
PhD.
will, yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely I've been feeling called by God to do
Okay.
a lot of things. I'm about to turn 30, but I
Okay.
know my 30s is going to be a year of going back to school and getting a license in project management. I have a lot of plans, and but this is my way of, let's just say, building my resume, right? I mean, not really. It's more like it's a passion project for me. It's more I was just hungry. Because just like with you, I did a Google search of the Filipino American woman. Hey Stephanie, hey Giselle, by the way, thanks for jumping on. Just want to say hi. But I remember doing a Google search of us, and you know, you find anything from maids to mail order brides, and there's not a lot of resources. And I know Kevin Nadal is an amazing you know, psychologist. He wrote the Filipino American Psychology, and just like with you, I just felt like how you know, you wanted to see more Filipinos in education.
Right.
I just wanted more resources about us. I wanted to be able to Google us and say, oh, there's a resource, there's something we can, I can learn and get inspired by, because otherwise anything you find about us is, you know, there's a lack for it.
Right.
And so I was just very inspired. I'm glad that you're a part of it.
Yay,
and
good.
Giselle says hi, in the comments below. I'm gonna. There's a video. There's a pop-up that keeps showing.
Okay.
So, but anyway, yeah. Thank you for jumping on, and I'm glad that you felt
Sure.
called to
No
you know
problem.
being a part of it.
The other thing I want to talk about is, you know, parents like to push kids to become doctors, nurses, engineers, right?
Right.
But sometimes, like you said, you had a calling for this. Sometimes the calling for a child is not that area.
It's so true.
Right. So, you know, to become an entrepreneur, I don't know if you had a discussion with your parents about, you know, going down that path.
That's a whole other story.
Yes. But, you know, as a parent, you know, stepping out of my educator role as a parent, I just, you know, you feel your child's passion, you know, whatever talents and interests they may have, as long as it's, you know, something that is aligns with your values.
Right.
You feel that, and they'll be okay, no matter what they do. I mean, I think I see that as a stress in our kids that, you know, they're not fulfilling their parents' expectations. And, you know, we just have to convince ourselves they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay. So, you know, one of the organizations I like to support is the PAC Arts.
Okay, PAC Arts.
Yes, especially the real...
PAC, like in all caps?
PAC, Arts.
Okay, got it.
Because they sponsor annually this Real Voices program for high school students.
That sounds really familiar.
Oh, yeah. And so, you know, my nephew's done it. A couple of my daughter's friends have also done it. And it just has opened up a whole new world of being able to tell stories and create their own documentaries on whatever topic they want. So that's something that I like to also push is whatever the kid finds interest in, you know, they'll be successful at it.
Right.
So,
I wanted to add upon what you said about our parents and expectations. I mean, my dad, we lost him when I was really young, but either way, my mom still held on to that, you know, their goals for us, which is for us to get college education and get a stable job, whether it's, you know, Navy, engineer, nurse, or the government, right? And my brother's a graphic designer.
Okay.
I do marketing.
Okay.
And my sister's currently traveling the world. She's been traveling the world for the last 3 years.
That's awesome.
And she actually did her own interview recently as well, just so you guys know, and you can watch that another time. But you know, throughout that whole process, it was difficult because even in my own family, at least locally, I'm the only one that I'm aware of that's self-employed.
Okay.
So that itself was really difficult to try to explain to my mom and this and that. But it took a lot of, you know, self-confidence and faith. And now, you know, my mom just loves everything that I'm doing. She watches my Facebook Live show. So hi, Mom, if you're watching this later. And, you know, she's just very supportive, and she feels very blessed, considering how we're all college educated now. And, you know, she gets to live her life now, you know, now that she's an empty nester. I mean, that was hard too. That's a whole other thing. But she can live her life now.
So that's what so, you know, you're not even in your 30s yet, but I have to tell you, I think the 30s was probably, you know, I'm approaching, I'm going to be 46 on Monday. So, I don't know how I feel about that, but anyway, I think I'm young at heart. I'm young at heart.
You are.
So, my 30s was probably like, you know, we had our house, we had our kids. It's probably the most stable period of my life. Our 20s, you know, we're still finishing college. Well, you know, Eric and I started early with our family, so that was a whole, you know, but becoming on your own. But now in your 40s, in my 40s, you know, I feel like, even though they say 50's over the hump, I feel like I'm over the hump because now the roles have changed. You know, now instead of being the one that, you know, your parents are taking care of, we're the ones taking care of our parents. So I'm definitely that in-betweener. You know, my girls are out of the house. I still have my son, but you know, now I'm finding, okay, I have some time for stuff for me to do. So that's why I do my blogging on the side. And I'm able to, you know, do a lot of things because mainly because I have a supportive family. You know, my husband's always, you know, we've known each other since we were young. We've been together since we were 12.
Oh my god!
So we're junior high.
You're like, so they're junior high sweethearts.
So, but you know, he never stopped me from even then. He just, you know, I want to go to a different high school, want to go college out of town, and whatever, you know. So I've been very grateful for his support. And you know, like I said, my sister was watching. I don't know if she still is. But
you just let us know if you're watching. And if you guys can hear us well, please let us know as well. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. It says here that we reached over 50 comments in the chat room, so thank you for your engagement. You are just as part of this conversation as we are, so please keep commenting, and I will address your comments as we go throughout this conversation. So thank you so much, everyone. Yay.
But you know, the other thing I wanted to just put out there is, you know, we just need to surround ourselves with people who are supportive and positive.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they might think that, you know, you're the craziest person with the craziest ideas, but hey, they're going to stand by your side. That's all you really need. You know? So I hope that, you know, I've felt that throughout my whole life, and, you know, I hope that I could do that for other people too.
Certainly. I mean, you mentioned how you're just so highly involved in the community. You have a scholarship.
Right.
And, is there anything else? And there's the conference coming up.
The conference is coming up.
Conference. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with people to get involved with, or that you're very proud to be involved in?
There's just so many activities, and I mean, I don't have one thing that I want to share, but you know, I think even at my age, you can settle in and just, you know, run your day-to-day normal routine. But, you know, get out there. You know, get out there, see what's happening with technology these days. It's easy to find out. It's easy to find out if something's happening near you. And just go out and meet new people. I mean, I don't think I would have met you, you know, if I'm right.
So thank you to I think, I don't know who added me to the group. Who added me to the business, or the blogger group? I think it was Furch. Shout out to Furch. Actually, Furch recommended me to a ton of people, and I thanked him in person already.
Okay.
But thank you again. If you end up watching this, just thank you. We wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be able to interview such amazing women hadn't it been for your amazing referrals. So, okay, well, that sounds great.
Okay.
And of course, if there's anything else that comes up in conversation, feel free to bring it up. It's funny because we are already almost to the hour. Could you believe that?
I don't know if there was any questions. We do.
Okay. And we're gonna probably go over, and that's okay. That's the beauty of Facebook Live. You're welcome to stay or watch the rest later. That's the beauty of Facebook Live, is you can watch the replay. But what I really want to touch upon, and we kind of mentioned this before we turned on the camera, but you know, just what it's like to be a Filipino American woman. Do you feel like you had a unique experience being one?
Well, I mean, nowadays, I think kids are really proud to say that I'm Filipino.
Right.
You know, I don't know if when I was in school that I would say that necessarily in elementary school. I think when I reached middle school and high school, I was, you know, more. In fact, when I went to Chula Vista High, it was mainly a Hispanic Caucasian school, and I started the Asian club there because there was
Awesome.
none.
Right.
There wasn't one. So, you know, I found a teacher, would you be willing to sponsor our club? And some of the other schools already had, I think they called them AIA still today, but they were able to go on like trips and stuff. And at Chula High, we didn't have that opportunity till we had a club formed. So I think nowadays it's easier, you know, kids sport their Filipino t-shirts.
They wear the stars.
Right. And when, you know, Manny Pacquiao was, you know, at the height of his career,
Right.
you know, they would wear his stuff and we see more and more Filipinos in the mainstream. That's what I think is amazing. Because, like I said, they were just, I felt invisible, I guess is the word. But now I see us more present. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's becoming cool to be Filipino.
Yeah,
essentially,
yeah.
it's like it's the trend. And I've had like my non-Filipino friends say, "Oh my gosh, the Filipino community is so awesome. And they're so hospitable, and I just want to have their skin color." And we're like, "Oh my gosh, like you want our skin color?" And because you know we're always told like, "Oh, you got to have light skin and whatever." And,
isn't that interesting?
it's always fascinating how you know people kind of see the grass is always greener on the other side, and you know, like even with Caucasians, they want to like get dark tans, and, you know, and then we want to lighten our skins. It's very, very fascinating. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and address some other questions.
Okay.
And this one's about balance. And did you ever feel the necessity to find balance in your Filipino or American counterparts?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think, you know, I was always proud inside to be Filipino, and then now having different avenues to either support Filipino businesses, entrepreneurs, and like I said, like, you know, supporting like the Filipino play, which there's something happening really, really soon, and maybe it's even today. But there's so many events happening. Like, just get out there and see, you know, even if it's not even just specifically Filipino related, just even, you know, Pacific Islander.
Right.
But no, I don't think I've ever felt like I don't know if I'm interpreting your question right. If I had to maybe choose one over the other.
Yeah, in a way. Like if you ever felt like there was a discrepancy, or you felt like you did had to choose sides, like for example, some of us struggle with, you know, being Filipino at home and then being American when we're out, and then feeling conflicted in that way. But if you never felt that, it's not, you know, it's not even a question you have to answer. Like if it's been normal to just live in harmony with everything that you are, I think that's a beautiful thing, and people need to hear that. You know, because some people feel like they have to wear different faces at different times. Right.
Well, but I just think that's part of life. Like,
yeah.
I think it just, you know, like there's times where I feel like, okay, I got to be on, you know, like at school, I have to be on. I have to be on it. And then there's times I just want to be chill and be in the background and not say anything. I'll just listen. And it's just, I think people have different expectations of you depending on the setting you're in.
True.
And you have that of yourself.
Yeah, very true.
Like I said, right now I'm on vacay mode.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, before we started this interview, she's like, I don't really want to talk about my job. And I just want to be called an educator, because I don't want, like, people act weird when I tell them I'm actually something else. And no, I love it. I love it because it shows how humble you are, but also there's so many different sides of you. And you know, we probably wouldn't have this conversation otherwise if you were always saying, like, oh, this is my profession, this is my career. It's like, you know, the fact that you've just been reaching out and you've been involved in our Facebook Live videos, it's just exciting, and I'm happy that you're part of it.
Yeah, it is exciting.
So you did mention that you went to the Philippines when you were 12.
Yep.
Did you go back or
I haven't been back since. So, like I said, Well, depending on my dad's health and what he can travel, they want to go back. I know they do. Hopefully we can work out somehow going on a trip together. But I really want to make it a family trip.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe it has to be soon. The further you put it off, it just things don't happen.
I know, it's like when it's not on the calendar, it just 5 years later go by. You're like, oh, we didn't take that vacation yet. But
what's great is that, my mom has one sister there, and she's 80. She's in her 80s. I don't remember exactly what age she is, but she's on Facebook and she calls all the time using Messenger. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot just call him at work, or it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I gotta go sleep.
yeah.
But I think that's great, and my mom and them can correspond face to face. I mean, that's the beauty of technology.
Yeah, I think my mom and her dad, I think they Skype. I mean, it's still hard for, he's like in his mid 80s. So he's not, up to date with technology, but I think they try to work it out. Otherwise, I think they just call each other. They have like those minutes that you pay for. Yes. I think that's what they do. Yeah. Although I probably should tell her that you don't have to pay for those anymore.
Right. Forget about the calling card. This is free.
Yeah, just use Skype. But she used to buy those like all the time. Yeah. That was like the thing back then, you know. And so I'd love to take this time to just, we actually met her parents at the very beginning of this interview.
I think my dad wanted to be interviewed. He was ready to just, I'm ready.
He was like, oh, I'm going to do mahjong today and go for a walk. And he was just so excited. He was so lit up. And so I'd love for you to just kind of, obviously they live here now. And you mentioned in the beginning that, you weren't really close to them back then. And now that you
I was close to them, but, it's different. Definitely the dynamics are different now that they're here.
Yeah.
And that actually was, my sister had them for a long time. They lived with her for 15 years. So
that's a long time.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
But they're older now and they have more needs. So that's a challenge. I'll put it that way. It's a real challenge. And the fact we're always having to repeat ourselves. Even me, I think I'm losing my hearing too. But shouting, yelling. I think if people heard the volume of the conversation, they might think, what is going on in that house?
No, my mom's the same way. Like when we used to all live together, and all of my siblings and I, we start with J's, and then she'll mix up our names.
Right.
So she'll say, when she means to say John, she'll say Jennifer, Josephine, John, and like she's just like yelling from the kitchen. We're all in our bedrooms, but I think that's kind of like a normal thing in a Filipino household, right?
Right. But you know what? I want to make sure that they're enjoying their life. I'd love to get into my mom's head and have her have an honest conversation, because her life revolves around taking care of my dad. I want to make sure that she's, being able to have her own time. Yeah. And being able to do things for herself, because I don't want her to lose that. Yeah. And it kind of gives me a glimpse, is that what my life's going to be like, when we're older? So, as long as they're happy, that's all I want for them.
Right, but, definitely.
That would be an interesting conversation to have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm sure. And I just think about how the dynamic would be. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I ended up living with my mom and helping her out. And, she still has our house, and she's had it for almost 20 years, So it's a great accomplishment to be a widow and all college-educated kids, and she still has her house,
And I've had this conversation with my girlfriends before. Like some of their mothers expect them to fix the dinner for their husband, have everything ready, take care of, putting the clothes out for the next day. I mean, really taking care of their husband that way. And wow, I see my mom do it. I mean, that's not the relationship I have. Thank God my husband cooks, and he really takes care of his family. Like I said, I'm really blessed to have him in my life. But that's a whole other topic of what mothers place on the Filipino American daughters in terms of the role expectations.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up because as you were talking, and even my sister brought this up, but I do want to possibly put together some kind of special where we honor our mothers and have them on our show, right?
That'd be lovely.
So, because right now we're focused on, I mean, we're generally focused on, you know, Filipino Americans' daughter to immigrant parents.
Yes.
I mean, it depends on who you are. Obviously, sometimes some people are immigrants, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, I do want to have a special.
They would love that.
Yeah.
Jen, they would love that.
Yeah,
To have their hair, their makeup done.
Yep.
Let's
so
do it.
if you guys are thinking that, if you want to feature your mother,
let's do it
on the Filipino American Woman, you give us the thumbs up that you think that'd be a great idea, and
we can serve melon drink.
We will serve melon juice. If you watched our show earlier, Laura actually showed us how to make this. Super simple, delicious, by the way. But yeah, that'd be great. It'd just be fun get together.
And Mother's Day's coming up, girl.
So you guys hold us accountable on that. And Mother's Day. I'm talking to Angela about putting together an event for the Filipino American Women. I think that'd be anyway. Ideas. We'll save that for another time.
Okay.
So we are wrapping up with 60 seconds, but if we go over, we go over. But what I want to really touch upon before we start addressing your comments. Hey Chang, that's my brother's roommate. Thanks for joining. We're not in his apartment this time this week. But I want, as we wrap up, I would love for you to explain in your personal experience, how do you define the Filipino American woman?
I think I might have mentioned this earlier, but you know, it's carrying on the traditions of being a selfless person and caring for others. I think that's the Filipino part, but we have the best of both worlds. You know, the American part would just be identifying and knowing when to be your best self, you also have to take care of yourself.
Yes,
so
very true.
That's how I would define the Filipino American woman, and the beauty of it is everybody has their own definitions. And
it's true.
Yeah. I just I'm excited you have this going on. I really want everybody who might be interested in joining the project, please connect. You know, shoot me a message or shoot Jen a message. I think it's really exciting. And just really, really proud and happy to be part of it.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, if you're a Filipino American woman and you feel called to, you know, sharing your story or being part of the movement and learning more, you could either type a number 1 in the comments below and we'll reach out to you, or, you know, reach out to Laura, reach out to myself, but you could also just put a number 1 in the comments below. Number 1.
I feel like I'm on American Idol.
I know. Put code. Vote for with the code. Yeah, I know, seriously. Now, as we wrap up, and I do want to cover a couple of comments. There's so many people that commented. We ignored them for 15 minutes. I'm sorry. So I apologize. So, you know, Ray says, congrats. The show's, this is a comment from me, but he says the show's my calling. Thanks, Ray. I appreciate that.
Yay.
Lots of Filipinos in San Diego and the U.S. that can relate to this segment and more that you have planned. Thank you, Laura, for sharing your home and life stories. Marisol says this project is awesome. Alyssa Ocean has also started a San Diego Filipino project. Well, let's connect. Hello. Ray says many of our families are at Glen Abbey. Coming from Navy dads, we were stationed at many bases and met other Filipinos, kids our age. Somehow we all seem to reconnect, seeing each other after many years visiting our parents at Glen Abbey, and it brings back our childhood times with our small Navy family community. Very true. My dad was an engineer in the Navy, so. Giselle says happy birthday.
Thank you.
Marianne Villuan.
Okay,
she says love, love, love. Elizabeth says Virgil is awesome sauce. Virgil, rest in peace, by the way. Yeah. And AIA all the way. I guess that means Asian.
That's the International Association. That's the clubs.
Elaine says, Laura, thank you for sharing your story. Never met my grandparents on either side. Went to the Philippines in 2001. Was also struck by the humidity and the poverty. I cried when I got to visit my parents' birthplace. But what struck me more was the warmth and friendliness of Filipinos.
Yes.
Which is awesome. And then Elizabeth shared a resource on the Asian Story Theater that represents that presents Halo Halo.
That's it. So that's the show.
She added it. So thanks, Elizabeth, for sharing that. And Melanie says we really enjoyed the ABBA concert last night.
Oh, she went out with my mom. Yeah.
And then Giselle says, I wish I could taste your cooking. You might.
Oh, hey.
It's so just and then
I take requests if they're simple. No more than 6 ingredients. Just kidding.
Seriously. Limited to 6. And you have to buy it. No, I'm just kidding. And then Giselle says selfless and caring. Yes, identifying and knowing and taking care of yourself is important. Giselle says she can't wait to meet you and hug you. You're so amazing.
Oh, thank
and
you.
Giselle was actually a past interviewee, and one thing that people learn about her very quickly, she's very affectionate. She loves to hug you the moment she meets you.
All right.
So thank you everyone for your comments. Keep on commenting. We will be wrapping up soon. Laura, is there any message you want to say out there just to the Filipino American woman before we go?
I mean, I think I've said a lot.
I know we did. We covered so much.
If I can just emphasize, if you are able to connect with your family and get to know your history, I think that's the greatest gift that you'll be able to give yourself. So
I think that's beautiful. And I agree. I mean, I had a rough patch with my family at a certain time, but the fact that my immediate family and I get along really well now it's truly a blessing, because it's definitely, I feel like I've realized another side of myself that I was compressing throughout the years in a sense. But I appreciate that advice and words of wisdom. And is there anything else that you think I should be asking you? Do you feel like I covered everything, or no?
I don't know. I think your questions are pretty comprehensive.
Thank you.
I mean, I nothing comes to mind, but if something does, I know where to find you.
You know where to find me. Yeah, definitely. And I know where you live, so
yeah,
if
there
I
you
need
go.
to follow up,
there
I'll
you
just
go.
do that. Now, thank you so much, Laura,
Okay,
for
no problem.
being on. Do you want to tell people how to find you if they want to reach out? I know we said Laura Says So.
Yes, Laura Says So is my blog, so www. But my name's spelled Lora, Says So. And then you can find all the stuff that I write about, a lot of food, family activities. I do have a section for Filipinos on my website. So that's something I need to contribute more to as I find the time to.
Oh, of course, you're a busy woman as it is, and it's just great. And as you enter the empty nester stage, I'm sure you'll have a lot. You'll want to.
I already
keep
have
busy,
a foot in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So just one more foot, right?
Yeah, one more foot.
So awesome. And then Melanie we'll just wrap up with her comment. She says, "Awesome live show. Congrats to you both. Look forward to more future shows."
Yay, thanks,
yeah, thank you so much. Well, that pretty much wraps our interview. Thank you for indulging me and having my laptop on me as I facilitate the conversation. And thank you for joining us earlier to learn how to make melon juice.
Yay.
And my coaster just fell, but that is Facebook Live. So we're going to wrap up, and thank you everyone for watching. Once again, reach out to us if you want to learn how to get involved, or type 1 in the comment below. Reach out to Laura, and we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend. So bye.
Bye.
Yay.